America in 2026 stands at a historic crossroads, caught between the glitz of Silicon Valley's AI revolution and the harsh reality of a grocery store line where prices seem to climb every single day. While the world celebrates technological leaps, a quiet crisis is unfolding at the kitchen tables of millions of families. Decades ago, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. realized that the right to vote or sit at a lunch counter meant little if a person couldn't afford a meal or a roof over their head. In his final years, he launched the Poor People's Campaign to demand economic dignity for all, regardless of race. Today, as the 2026 housing crisis and skyrocketing inflation redefine what it means to struggle, King's unfinished revolution is no longer just a chapter in a history book. It has become a blueprint for modern survival. The landscape of poverty has shifted in 2026, creating a new class of the working poor. These are the people working multiple jobs in the gig economy, yet finding that a basic one-bedroom apartment is now a luxury they cannot afford. This modern struggle has brought Dr. King's most radical ideas back to the forefront of American debate. He famously argued for a guaranteed annual income, an idea that was once mocked but is now seen as a necessary shield against an automated future where AI threatens to displace millions of workers. In 2026, the argument is clear. In a nation of such immense wealth, poverty is not a failure of resources, but a failure of our collective will to ensure every human being lives with dignity. Beyond the paycheck, this movement is a fight for the very soul of the country. Dr. King warned us about the triple evils of racism, poverty, and militarism, and in 2026, we see how these forces are still linked. The money spent on global conflicts is money stolen from our own crumbling infrastructure, our schools, and our healthcare systems. King's vision of the world house reminds us that we are all living in a shared space where we must learn to live as brothers or perish as fools. Today's activists are connecting these dots, proving that the struggle for a fair wage in Detroit is the same struggle for peace and justice across the globe. As we look toward the future, the Poor People's Campaign of 2026 is an urgent call for a revolution of values. It challenges the idea that technology should only benefit the few at the top while the rest are left behind. Dr. King was more than a dreamer. He was a disruptor who wanted to restructure the very architecture of society to favor the many. The movement we see today across all 50 states is a sign that the unfinished revolution has finally found its voice again. We are realizing that the arc of the moral universe does not bend toward justice on its own. It bends because we put our hands on it and pull together. The march is moving, and the only question left is where each of us will stand. The 2026 Poor People's Campaign is not just a protest. It is an awakening of the American conscience that refused to be ignored any longer. We are living in an era where the divide between the haves and the have-nots is no longer a gap. It is a canyon. While the stock market reaches new heights and AI creates trillions in new value, the single mother in a rural town and the young graduate in the city are both staring at the same empty bank account. Dr. King knew that a nation that prioritizes profit over people is a nation on the brink of spiritual death. In 2026, we are choosing life. We are choosing to believe that the abundance of the few should never be built on the misery of the many. This movement is a bold declaration that human value is not measured by a credit score or a job title. It is a reminder that the sweat of the essential worker is just as sacred as the capital of the billionaire. As we march through the streets of D.C. and across every state capital this year, we aren't just asking for crumbs from the table, we are demanding a seat at it. The 2026 campaign is the modern-day Resurrection City, but this time, it is built on digital platforms and grassroots power that cannot be dismantled by a single storm. It is a global signal that the world house Dr. King dreamed of is finally under construction. and the foundation is being laid by those who were once forgotten. Ultimately, the power of this revolution lies in its unity. In a time when we are told to fear our neighbors because of their politics or their background, the Poor People's Campaign is proving that our shared hunger for justice is stronger than our differences. We are witnessing a revolution of values, where empathy is our greatest currency and solidarity is our strongest weapon. Dr. King once said that, "The time is always right to do what is right." And in 2026, the time for half measures has passed. We are pulling the arc of the universe toward a future where every child has a home, every worker has a living wage, and every human being has the freedom to dream again. The march is no longer a distant memory. It is our heartbeat. The 2026 Poor People's Campaign is a thunderous reminder that a nation's greatness is not measured by the height of its skyscrapers or the speed of its processors, but by how it treats its most vulnerable citizens. We are witnessing a moral awakening that refuses to accept poverty as an inevitable byproduct of progress. In this digital age, where algorithms decide our opportunities, we are reasserting the human factor. We are declaring that no machine can replace the value of a person's dignity, and no corporate profit justifies the displacement of a family. This movement is the voice of the teacher, the farmer, the delivery driver, and the student, all joining together to say that the American dream must be a reality for everyone, not just a luxury for the elite. As we stand on the shoulders of Dr. King in 2026, we realize that the dream was never meant to be a static memory, but a living, breathing mission. This is the moment where fear is replaced by fortitude and silence is replaced by a collective roar for justice. We are not just fighting against the hardships of today, we are building the foundation for a century where the World House becomes a sanctuary for all. The 2026 campaign is the spark that is reigniting the soul of democracy, proving that when the people lead, the leaders must eventually follow. The road ahead is long, and the challenges are many, but the spirit of this revolution is unbreakable because it is fueled by the simple, powerful truth that we are all worthy of a future defined by abundance, not by scarcity. If you're inspired by Dr. King's legacy, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel, where I'm dedicated to bringing you the true stories behind the powerful life and journey of Martin Luther King Jr. Don't forget to hit the bell icon and share this video to help keep the dream alive. Thanks for watching.